Well, this is Michael back at you again with YouTube. Um, Before I get started, I want to thank everyone for watching my videos. I'm still kind of learning the YouTube thing. Made, I've made a few mistakes that now I'm kind of learning about because I watch people talk about how to be successful on YouTube, and I always forget to do that, and then just wait till the end. Maybe somebody doesn't watch to the end, but I'll tell you guys right from the start, man. Thank you guys so much for watching my YouTube videos. Um, I got kind of an end game on it, so I'll explain that here in a little bit. But anyways, thank you guys so much. And if you could click like and subscribe, that would be absolutely fantastic. I got my glasses on today because I got myself some notes over here, and I got to be able to see my notes. So normally I just take my glasses off because I wear glasses to see, to read. Um, anyways, um, I'm going to give you guys five, probably more than five, but I'm going to give you guys 5 sure ways that you can make money overseas. Okay? You don't have to live in the United States to make money. You can if you want. But I got 5 ways that you guys can make money, at least 5 ways, probably more than that. You guys can make money overseas. Okay? And let me tell you, I know I say this in a lot of videos, but you can look online. The average person over here in Cambodia, and I'm sure it's the same way in all these third world countries. They don't have a lot of education. They don't have a lot of educational skills and skill sets to make a lot of money. So it doesn't take a lot of money here to live. So the number one way you can make money in overseas, okay, is teaching your native language. Okay, I look all the time. I see schools that put banners out front. I see online they want native English speakers. They don't want somebody that's going to chop it all up and kind of do their own thing. They want native English speakers, preferably from the United States, or England, or Australia, or New Zealand, someplace like that. And they're willing to pay for it. They're willing. If you go to a nice school, you're going to make around $2,000 a month. Depends on the school. Depends on a few things. How much, whatever. But you're probably going to try to lowball you at first. But tell them that you give them 3 months. Maybe tell them you start out at maybe $1,000 a month for 3 months, and then you're going to have to talk again. And if you're doing a good job, man, they're not going to let you go. Okay? The school I was teaching at, they didn't want me to go. I don't know about a lot of other countries, but here in Cambodia, if you're a native English speaker, you don't need to have a degree in teaching. They just want you to have a certificate. I believe it's teaching English as a foreign language certificate. It's real easy to get online. Take a class online. It's a real easy certificate to get if you're a native English speaker. And like I said, if you're collecting a couple $1,000s a month in Social Security, and you're teaching English at one of these international schools, most of them will just pay you cash. When it's payday, they're just going to pay you cash, and you got to get a work card from the government. It's not a big thing. It's pretty easy to get. The reason is I've traveled all over the world. And English is the international language. The schools know, the families know, everyone knows that if you know English and can read and write and speak some English, you're going to have a better future. I don't care what country you live in. Okay, that's just the way it is. I didn't make that rule, but that's just the way it is. So they really push the English thing here a lot, the Chinese thing too, but I don't, my daughter learns Chinese, but for me, it's not really important. I do a English thing. Okay, and they They also need, a lot of times people want to learn English, but they're working in these little shops, or maybe they're making, whatever they're doing all day long. They don't have time to go to school. And they got a family, they got dinner to cook, and they got kids coming home, and they want a private English tutor. And even for like some of their children that are, you know, 14, 15, 16 years old, that's getting ready to, get out of school, they want somebody, even though they can speak some pretty decent English, they want them to practice with a native English teacher so they can try to get into a university, maybe in the USA or England or wherever. So a lot of these families that do have money will pay for you to teach, whether it's in person or sometimes online on Zoom or on Telegram. I use Telegram over here because it has video. It has a video chat. I can chat with somebody and speak with them. And all I'm doing is just calling them up and asking them how their day was, and correcting just some minor things, maybe the English they're not saying correctly, and taking down some notes. Maybe I'll find like something online, and and I'll download it on my computer, and I'll send it to them on Telegram, and help them out a little bit. And they can pay me with they use ABA Bank over here. They got a QR code, man. You can send money on through the ABA code. I'll tell you guys a real quick story. I've got a couple girls that live over here in the same subdivision as me, and they went to the same school that I taught. Well, I came home one night from, let me turn on my light over here a little bit, not very, okay. I came home one night from teaching night school, 6:30 at night, and I was just backing my car up in the carport, and two of those students, those girls, walked up to my house with a lady, and I had seen her before. She lives in the subdivision, and she didn't speak any English, okay, and they kind of translated for her, and she wanted me to come to her house at night and on the weekends and help teach her some English like a private tutor. And my wife was outside putting water on the flowers, wasn't really too happy about that. Having some strange lady come up try to get me to come to her house and teach English tonight. But I told her I just didn't have time. I was getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning to do my lesson plan for the day, which lesson plans are so easy to get, man. You just go online and you just look up a lesson plan and you download it and print it and pass it out to the students and put it on the whiteboard. The math is just, it's really an easy job. The only hard part is dealing with some of the students who don't have good behavior. But anyways, she wanted me to come to her house at night and on the weekends when she had time and teach her English one-on-one. And I told her I didn't have time. I really didn't have time to do it because I get up early in the morning, went to school, and then I'd go back teach night school from 5:30 to 6:30, and then my daughter comes home. My daughter's already home by the time I get home at 6:30, and I got to help my daughter with English homework, and I want to spend some time with the wife and daughter. And I told her I just couldn't really help her, and she said she had plenty of she had money to pay me, and I said, well, I know, but I just don't have time. So, like I said, the wife wasn't really too happy about that one right there. But like I said, I could have picked up some extra money right there for something I already know. It's not hard work, right? Like I said, there's just so many lesson plans for free online. You guys would be surprised unless you look it up. Okay, another one is people over here don't have credit cards. A few of them do, but seldom. They have maybe an ATM card. A lot of them don't even have that. Okay, they don't know how to go on and book an airline. They don't know how to book they don't know how to go on and try to find an airplane. Maybe they're going to go to Indonesia Taiwan, they want to fly, they can take a bus. Maybe they got some extra money. If they got money for an airplane, they got money to pay me. Okay, and I don't have to advertise it. People all around the subdivision, they know I have a computer and a laptop, and I have flown so many times in my life I can't even tell you. So they come over here, give me their credit card, and we look for a nice flight, and I print them out their itinerary, and I'll spend maybe an hour, I don't know, hour and a half. We're looking through all the different flights, different times and stuff, and that's $30. Yeah, I mean, I'm just sitting right here like I am right now in my wife beater muscle shirt thing. So, like I said, they don't know how to do it. They might speak a little bit of English, but they don't know how to how to go on cheap flights and kayak and all. They don't know all those websites. So, same thing with the hotels. Okay. Maybe they're going to want to go to Bali, Indonesia, someplace, and they don't know how to find. They don't know what to look up on the hotels, and I'll look them up, different ones, and we'll find a hotel, how many people, and do you want all include, just all the different things. They don't know how to do that. And if I'm going to sit at my computer for an hour, I'll give them hour and a half maybe. Oh, they put $30 in my hand, man. That's $30, man. I'll fill up my car. So there's another way right there. Okay. Some of the people, well, like I said, word gets around, right? Word gets around about the foreigner that lives in the subdivision, and then they tell somebody else. Maybe they don't even live in this subdivision. Maybe they live in another one nearby. And they know that I know a lot about cars. Okay. And they're getting a lot of the people over here, they're like in the USA, man, they're paying every month for the car. So a lot of times they'll come to me and ask me to look up different kinds of cars not to buy, right? Don't buy a Jeep product. Don't buy a Stellantis product. Don't buy a Nissan Rogue. Don't buy this. Don't buy the cars with all the problems. And so, like I said, I'll look online and I'll show them. I'll kind of show them that what people are saying, kind of try to explain to them why that car is no good. Maybe they need an SUV or just a regular car. And here again, if I'm gonna spend an hour and a half, man, I'll make $30. It's okay. It's like $20 an hour, man. For over here, that's just for them it's worth it. I told an individual, he likes the Jeep, and I said, don't buy a Jeep. Don't buy a Jeep, man. You're gonna have a number of problems, bro. And I told him that in his kind of a way he could understand. I said, don't. He said, but he likes. And I said, they look strong. And I said, they're not strong, man. I said, it's made by a company called Stellantis, and they're gonna fall. It's gonna fall apart on you. Next thing you know, he's got a Jeep, man. He's got problems after problem after problem. I said, I told him not to buy a Jeep. I told him, but oh well. Anyways, I still made my $30. Okay. Like I said, there's just so many different ways, because I can read and write and understand English in a way that they can't. Okay. A lot of times doesn't translate correctly. Okay. It'll translate close, but no correctly. I'll give you an example. They use the word motok over here, and that means to take a bath. But I don't have a bathtub in my house. All I got showers. Okay. They don't have a word for shower. They don't have a word for that. Sometimes I'll look on Translate for a word, and it doesn't have a word to translate from English over to this, so they just use another word. So, like I said, I could read them, try to explain to them about what it is. Okay. Another way you guys can make money is filling out forms online. Okay, suppose they want to go to New Zealand or Australia on a tourist visa, or the USA, or possibly get into a university or something. They want somebody that understands the questions correctly. Because if you just guess and you try to use translate and you answer the wrong question, or answer the, give the wrong answer to the question, that's gonna jeopardize your chance of getting a visa or going to a university. Okay, so like I said, they come over here. I charge about $20 an hour, and I've done it with a few people, and they spend maybe 2 or 3 hours over here, and we'll fill out the forms for them trying to get into several different universities, and I'll make $50, $60. And you think, well, that's only $50, $60 over here. That is a lot of money. Okay, that is a lot of money. That's what most of these people make in a week. Okay, they got construction workers over here that I showed you guys on a short video, man. $12 a day is what they make working from 7 o'clock in the morning until 6 o'clock at night, man. $12 a day. So for me to make $50, $60 in a few hours just sitting on my laptop in an air-conditioned room with my little shirt on, for me it's kind of worth it, And I just, like I said, it's just a little extra pocket change plus my Social Security. Like I said, just come a little extra spending money there for the pocket. Also, they don't know how to make a resume, or now they call it a CV. I have made numerous resumes and CVs. I think they call them CVs now. They used to be called resumes. But anyways, they just put like maybe where they went to high school, they just put like maybe 4 or 5 sentences on there with a picture on it, and then I tell them, man, I got a templates for a resume and a CV, and I'll make you a nice one, man. I'll take a picture with my I got the white walls over here. I got a little chair. I'll take a picture with my phone, and then I'll download the picture. I'll put it on the paper, and now they got a nice CV and a nice resume. And here again, it's $20, $30, but I'm just doing all kind of stuff, and I don't have to advertise. Let me tell you, once they tell their friends, word of mouth is it goes so fast, I've had people come to my house and ask me, can I come to their house because they've bought a new TV, a new flat screen TV, or they've bought something, and the instructions are only in Chinese or Japanese or English. It's not going to be in Khmer. That's the Cambodian language. It's not going to be in Khmer, and they don't know how to. They don't know how to. They don't know how to program a TV. They don't. I mean, they just don't know because there's no instructions for them to understand. So I'll go over there and show them. And like I said, maybe I'll just walk down the street or ride my bicycle to somebody's house, man. Show them how to do everything, set everything up. I've set up numerous televisions on the Wi-Fi and done the whole password thing, all that stuff. I make $20, man. Just okay, like I said. And you guys can work online, okay? There's these companies out there. I think it's called Flex Jobs, and there's some other ones out there, but you guys can find them if you want. And they don't pay that much for the USA for you to work online, okay? And they're only going to pay you maybe $30,000 a year. But let me tell you something. You're making $30,000 a year in Cambodia or probably any other third world country. You're making some money, okay? It would take the average Cambodian to make $30,000 probably 7, 8, 10 years, man. So you can make that much in a year working online. Like I said, I think it's Flex Jobs and into all the different places. They're looking for remote people that can speak, read and write English correctly. There's just so many different ways you guys can make money. And there's one more I'm going to tell you about real quick. Banks don't like to loan people in third world countries money. Okay, they don't have a social security number. Most people work for cash. If the bank loans them money and they run, it's really hard to try to find them because, like I said, they don't have any social security numbers, and a lot of them don't even have IDs. And so, me and my wife, we loan people money, and they know that. But I'm not loaning it to them for free. Okay. If they want to borrow $1,000 because somebody's getting married and they want to have a wedding and they want to spend it, you know, or grandma needs a surgery, whatever it is, and they want to borrow $1,000. I got to hold something. I got to hold some jewelry. My wife would take them somewheres and ask them how much that jewelry's worth. I got to hold a moto with a title on it. And I'll give them, my wife would tell them, man, my husband gives you 4 months to pay it back. I'll loan you, he's gonna loan you $1,000, but he needs $1,400 back. That's $100 a month in interest. And they can say no, and it's okay. I don't care if they say no, but I don't hold them down to like, okay, it's 4 months and a day, it's too late. But if they come back to me in 4 months and a couple weeks, man, I'm cool with that. I'll help them out a little bit. But don't come back to me in 8 or 9 months and think you're going to get back what I was holding, because it's already gone. Well, except for the gold and jewelry and stuff, I like to keep that, because my wife will go someplace with them. Example, she went one place with a lady, and they were going to give her. She didn't really want to sell her bracelet and gold and stuff. They were only going to give her like $1,300 or $1,400 for it. And I think my wife let her borrow $900, but she didn't want to sell it. She wanted just to use it for collateral. And then we ended up charging her the $1,300 that the place was going to sell it. She got it back. So if she had sold it to him, she wasn't going to get it back for no $1,300. So, and I know that sounds kind of mean, but I'm not, they're not my family. And if they always have the choice to say no, man. They always have the choice to say no. So, like I said, don't be afraid that you can't make money in a third world country. Now, if you go to Germany or Europe or someplace like that, you're probably not going to be able to do all this stuff. But, there's plenty of third world countries out there that you can. And anybody that says they can't make money overseas, man, I don't know. I've lived here for 4 years. And I go to bed at night and I don't have to. I'm not, I'm not waiting on my Social Security check from the government. It just goes into a bank in the USA, and I don't know. I don't want too much in there because bank might fail. And I just wire transfer it over here to a bank over here, and then I got my money kind of spread out. I don't put all my eggs in one basket. I got money in several different banks. Maybe one of them fails. I don't know. You never really know. So, anyways, you guys can make money overseas. And if you don't think you can, well, I don't know what to tell you. But especially you guys that are older, you got knowledge, you got some thinking skills. And like I said, you got to be careful, because I don't tell people what I have in my house. I don't go around broadcasting, that I got a safe and all the rest of it. I'll tell you guys, because but I don't go around broadcasting all that stuff. And like I said, you guys can make money, man. Anyways, thank you guys again for watching my video. Everybody out there, man, I wish you guys well. I hope that you leave the USA soon, but don't know, So thank you so much for watching my videos, man. And I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.